just because I feel like you and Anna got a different challenge than everyone else. Like
Yeah,
I don't feel like it was fair. I'm just gonna say that. But did you? How much about Below Deck did you really know about?
I know about Below Deck because I watched the show.
Okay.
I think they are fun. I love that they work and then they go out, they go crazy. Just like I said, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have to agree because it was we got the two captains. We can't really have fun with the captains.
Right. Right.
Um,
It is hard. And then, so you got Sandy and oh my God, Prajjé, I know her. So I knew I was like, is she gonna ask for sparkles? I know she's gonna ask for sparkles, and she did. I'm like, oh my God.
we discussed a lot of things. Sparkles was the first one, and then I tried. I'm like, okay, what else do you like? She was like, well, I like the Looney Tunes. I'm like, oh no, no, no. Like what else? And I was like, so what about a dress? She was like, I'll be cut dead in a dress. It was just,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
oh
Good
yeah.
job for you. It was hard. And it was a uniform. That was the other thing. How much work have you had with uniform design?
Not so much any work with uniform per se, but one thing I would say about working with Captain Sandy was that once we realized that, I think once you realize that, okay, you have the captains here, while everybody's trying to show one boob here, one leg there, I couldn't really do so. She did allow me to create something that she wanted to wear, and in the entire time, I remember she loved it. She loved the look. She even said, "I want to put in a request to actually wear this on the boat." So it was a bit of a challenge trying to do the challenge, but
Yeah.
not too much impressing the client because
Yeah.
the client was happy. The client loved the work, but it was so much like, how do you do both? And then trying to still deliver on the challenge part. And I think that's where it was challenging.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, you guys, you two were definitely had a harder challenge. I like what you did with the epaulets. I thought that was kind of cool. Um, so when you got the challenge, was it like go? Like, did you just have to talk to Sandy? Like, how did you realize where to go with this design?
Well, considering that my business is built based on private clienteling, so I kind of didn't let my mind wander too far
Mhm.
because I wanted to speak to the client first. So when I met up with Sandy, and you kind of already know the base. You're gonna have to redesign a uniform. There we go. It's a uniform we have to redesign. You kind of already see where you can go with this, but not so much pushing it. Thank God I didn't because all the direction that I pushed for Cindy, that was a complete opposite of her. And she was like, no, absolutely not. I wanted to put on a beautiful dress and I wanted to put on something, but she was pretty much this is what I like. And then after, but she was fun. And I discovered that very early on. And I realized that everything that I picked for her was based on our conversation. She was fun. She doesn't like basic anything. She likes to stand out on her own. We talk about not looking like the same people. And we even shared that if I go to a club and somebody's wearing the same shirt as me, I'll go and change it. She's like, well, usually I have one in my car. So, we kind of connected in that. And then that's when I went in and designed what I designed for her. Still keep in mind some of the things that she wanted on there. Her walkie was one of the things. So I designed her pants in a way where she can put her hands, but her walkie's there without going too far. So I tried to go there, to give her the stuff that she would need in a look that she actually liked because she's gonna be the one stuck with it on that boat. None of us would be there, even
Yeah.
though I want to be invited.
Yeah. Right, right. Exactly, exactly. And it is interesting because I know towards the end you sort of reflected on the design, saying, this is going to get me where I need to go, but it there might have been something you would have done differently. Now looking back, what do you think? What direction do you think
I
you?
haven't seen completely too much and what the edits are for tonight's episode, but based on I don't know. The one thing I wish I did fight Captain Cindy about was the pants. Originally, I did want it to make her wide leg pants, and she said no. I would look. I think she said I look like a cat or something. She said something to me that was wild, and I was like, oh my god, no, that's not true. She's like, no, 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 and then we went to the tapered pants. But I felt that out of everything, that is the one thing I should have pushed her for more because I feel like after designing it when it walked on the runway, a wider leg pants would have make it more fashion forward in a way, and a bit more modern and more comfortable per se. But again, I had a client to please. It's about the client. And considering that for everyone else, it may have been different, but for me, it's not so much a boundary that I naturally can cross because my business is based on clienteling and my clients are always fine. So I always deliver what my clients want. Yes, I give you my honest opinion. I give you my expertise. I walk you the right direction. I don't let you make the big mistake. But if something you dear want and you don't want to put on your body, I'm not forcing it down on you. So
Yeah.
what was that?
It did sound like though she did let you, kind of trusted your instincts. Was she pretty easy to work with as far as like when you'd have ideas, she'd kind of go with them too?
Oh yeah, she did. Once we went down the list of the don't do's, I would never do.
Mm-hmm.
In my creative list, that was half of everything. But once we went over that, like I know exactly what she does not want, what she's not gonna go for. It was very easy to design for her. Even I made a little mistake in the suit, and she was like, "I like that. It gives a character." And I'm like, "No, Sandy, we're not gonna have that. The judges will beat me up for this." And so I had to like fix it and everything. But she was super, super fun. I guess her title is what makes it stiff in a way, but it's not Sandy. Sandy's so much fun. We're so much fun in there.
Yeah.
It was great to get the tea on everybody else from the captain. So, I had that little privilege. I was very happy to have her.
Yeah.
It's a clientele that I'm very very used to.
Mm-hmm.
So the decision was on this one here, do you go for an impressive judging critique and then your client is not happy, or do you make your client happy? And naturally, it's making the client happy for me. And that's what I did, and she loved it, and that's what that matters.
Yeah. But it definitely puts you and Anna at a disadvantage. Did you kind of know when you saw like Aisha walking out, like, you did?
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Did you think you were going home?
Listen, the way this show's been going on, and it was very much like that. At any given time, you can go home at any point. Do you think I was going home every day?
Oh,
Even though when I was in the top four, I'm like every time. It's always until they say you are either safe, you're at the bottom, or you're at the top. There is the idea that you're going home every time. You just didn't know. You just didn't know. It was one of the things this season that was very like yesterday you hated blue, but today you love it. Like it was one of those things. Yeah.
That's so strange. Well, you're all like the top of your game. So coming back, was there somebody that you were like, oh God, please don't let this person be coming back?
And so I'm like, I wouldn't want to work with them or in a competition level.
Compete against them or have to, interact with them even. I know.
I know what you want me to say, and the answer is yes. No, I don't think. Listen, the way I am, I've lived a million lives, and I've met tons of different people. I can get along with everyone. I just don't like to feel, certain way. And I grew up to defend myself and to protect myself, if that makes sense. But out of that, I get along with everyone. So I think I'd have done well with whoever they brought onto the show. But I was worried that they would bring Christian on the show. That was my first thing. I was just like, is Christian's gonna come too? Okay. And they were like, no, he's the mentor. I'm like, oh, okay, well, in that case, yes.
Okay, all right. And was there somebody you were like really hopeful that you would see that maybe didn't come back or thinks should have another shot at this too?
Yeah, I think there are a few people that I do think that deserve another shot at this. I definitely do think Coral for my season deserve another shot because I know designers. I'm a professor here. I teach students, and I'm also creative director for Philly Fashion Week. So I go through a lot of designers. I've never met anyone like Coral, and it's one of those things that's happening, and you don't even know it's happening. very quiet, very subtle. And the next thing you turn around, you're like, oh God, what's happening? Where did this come from? And she has a very kind heart and good spirit. And I think, and then she was the oldest one out of all of us. And it's a true testament on keep working hard at your craft and really push on despite all odds. And to see her still pushing for her dream, I think that's, if I were to give, I would have given that to Coral because she's just very impressive. She doesn't say much. Yeah, not everybody's meant for Bravo TV.
Yeah.
But I think in terms of like what we're here for the occasion, I think, yeah, if the choice was mine, I would definitely take Coral. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What was it like when you got the call that you were the All
Uh,
Star?
Listen, I was sitting on the stage in front of the judges. I still think it was a joke.
Come on.
I was just like, is this really happening? Am I like, you guys really called me? This is not like something that I had to like cast for, fight a bunch of million designers. You literally went over all your rosters of 20 years and you said, this guy is coming back. Like, and it was one of the greatest honor for me. And then that's why it was a little different. Not everybody understand what they seeing in the show. They think it's drama. It's not drama. We're not dramatic. We respect ourselves. We know what we've done and we know what we can do. We've all built a life for ourselves. It wasn't one of those things where we had to prove ourselves. We know where we were. It's a competition. That's what you're here for. You said yes, let's go. But at the end of the day, I was standing next to Cartel. I was standing next to, Laurent. I was standing next to Bishme. When Bishme walks to the door, I was just like, oh, this is done. This is over. This is my favorite person, his character, his work, the way he has his point of view. It was kind of like I was there with my brother, and that's what it was. Bishmi and I got super, super close in the competition. So tonight's episode, like we got a little walkie talk. Sometimes we don't even have to even speak words. It was like that. You have everyone was there, so it really was truly an honor to just get invited into this. It wasn't. It doesn't matter what anyone say. I was invited to this season of 20 of a legendary, what I will call legendary season of cast members, because everyone in that cast, they're living and fashion is someone sustaining. So that.
Yeah, the best of the best. So
The
yeah.
best of the best. Like honestly, it truly was the best of it and different. And I think what people are missing, everybody there, we don't make the same thing.
Right.
Everybody makes very differently. We have different ways, methods, but at the end of the day, you are going to get a show. And then we did. And sometimes we decided that if we wanted to give a runway show or if we wanted to sell product, it was that decision that we had to make along the way. Like, today I'm gonna give you a show. And then if it makes you in the bottom, you sit there, you defend it because you are giving a show.
Yeah, no, it is incredible what you do under the pressure. You guys did make a funny comment about comparing the below deck people to the housewives. What was that housewives experience? I mean, I heard there was a lot of crying.
I wasn't there, but when I was in prison. So when I got out of prison, I went to the halfway house. The word on the block was people were crying backstage. I wasn't there, so I got kicked off right before that challenge. But the word on the block was there were a lot of crying because the housewife. I mean, think about it. It's kind of like us against us. Like they are dramatic people. They're the drama. Like they've been there for a while. They built their name. And they're showing up to Project Runway. We're supposed to have the best of the best designers. So the expectation is kind of up here. If they don't get that, I can see how that can go. And if you don't have that tough skin that requires you to deal with a housewife, then you're gonna end up crying.
yeah. That is exactly true. So what can you kind of tease? Because I know you can't tell me what happens, but what can you kind of tease that we're gonna see in your journey this season?
This season in my journey, I hope you get to see me. Mm-hmm. I keep saying it and I'll say it over and over again. I didn't go there for validation. I know I'm a designer. I know what I can do and what I'm capable of doing. I've been doing it since I was the age of 13 and look at where I'm sitting. That's what put me here. So with that, I have to give myself that grace. But at the same time, there's a lot more to learn. There's a lot more to accomplish. There's a lot more to explore. And for me, I think this season, that's what it gave me. I explored so much. Everything I made in this season, I've never made before. I didn't even know how to begin or end. I just knew I had this idea and I wanted to push so I can create something new and then put it in front of the judges and see what they'll say. I'm working. I literally told you as I was working, and that's what my work is because Project Runway is for one season. Once I get out, I need to continue on. So if I'm standing in front of a room of a bunch of professionals, yes, there is a grand prize until you get to that point. Everything you do, at least for me, matters because it's not every day I get to stand in front of Nina Garcia to tell me how shady my work was or how beautiful it was. So I took that very seriously to kind of create different things, push the boundaries, even if I knew it was a mistake, if it was a risk, I stand behind it. It never defined who I am as a designer, but I did want to explore and I did let my brain go wild and sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't work and that's fine too. But I was able to present it to the judges. I heard what they say, the things they liked about it, the things they didn't like about it. And now I'm implementing them to my everyday life, to my customers, and move my business forward. Sometimes it's not the grand prize. Sometimes it's what they say to you that can make a whole difference. And,
yeah. Yeah. Before I let you go, tell me about your business because you have a store in Philly, right?
So we do have the atelier here. It is half atelier and half showroom. And in the showroom, you can purchase all my products.
Okay.
Because my business is built, private clienteling. So we have a lot of clients coming in and out. We have the stylists you can pull for the editorials and stuff like that. And we also do now, since the pandemic, we've kind of explored the world of e-shopping, online shopping, and then we have a whole entire section of drop ship. I do believe in not producing stuff and have them sit around. So we do use the dropship for that purpose. But everything is designed by me. I design specific prints for the dropship. You have shoes, you have the scarves, you have the backpacks, you have sweaters. Everything like a lifestyle is on my website. You can purchase, and then in studio you can purchase the collections. And then now, again, with meeting people from the show, I met Kane, and we came out, we just collaborated on this huge collaboration for mass production. So now I'm moving my business to the next step. Say whatever you want about Project Runway, but I would never be able to be in the same room with Kane and then have this going on if I was not there. So again, it's not necessarily grand prize or at some point, but if it is, it's like the cherry on top. Every single week you are at Project Runway, something can come out of that for you if you're there for working. Right. I was there for working. I did all the oohs and ahs of season 19 and season 20. I was like, no, sweetheart, I have a child to feed. I have 3 sets of rent. Yeah. This one, my house, and my house in Haiti. I have no, I can't. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. No, you were there to work. Would you like to be a judge someday? Come back as a judge?
I would love to be a judge, but I think I would like to host a show. I think I would be more fun. Christian, listen.
Watch yourself.
Christian is busy. Christian is out there dressing every celebrity, every
He is.
So busy. Take a season off. Let me just go and a filler for you. I can be your understudy, Let me just, but yeah, of course I would love to be a judge and, be part of the show. I think the show is a great place to be. The first time I didn't understand it. It was the first time I'm done, but the second time around it's different. The perspectives were different.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, you made such a huge impression the first time, obviously. So to come back as the master, that's just awesome. So, but I think you nailed it with Sandy. You did a great job, and knowing her personally, you got it. You got it.
That's what everyone said. Like there were people that knew her, and they're like, "Oh my God, this is the best I've seen you do." It was really a great moment with me and Sandy, honestly.